I'm sitting here looking at the top of this old Mercedes, and particularly the sunroof. This is a glass sunroof, but it has this kind of plasticized rubber edge. And this is so common. Look at it, it's kind of faded gray with little white specks everywhere. And this is usually what happens when people wax their car and they run the wax over this. And then it dries and it starts to turn gray and even white. Now, some of you may say, well, Kent, that's no big deal. It's just a sunroof. But I don't like looking at this. It just looks ugly. And look right in this crack right here. This is where you can see the wax has really gotten down in there. So I'm going to clean this up and make this look pretty. And I'm going to explain how I do it. I'll start out cleaning this, and then after I'm done cleaning, I'll add the protectant. This is the cleaner that I like to use for getting this old wax off these rubber parts. It's the Dawn Professional Heavy Duty Degreaser. And what I do is I get some in a little bottle and I get the fine brush, because all I'm trying to do is clean this. I'm not trying to clean the whole roof of the car. And I'm going to let it drip down in that crack there where the seal is. And then I'm going to scrub this. Now, I'm just going to do a short little section here for you. If you don't clean this like this, then the protectant is not going to last that long. Now I'm going to grab a rag and I'll just rub this real hard. Now, I know some of you are saying, hey, Kent, that looks good enough. Why don't you just leave that? Well, you know, after a couple months, it's going to start turning gray again through the, UV. So we'll do the whole circumference of this sunroof, and then I'm going to come back and apply my Miracle Protectant. Here's another example I think you're going to like. Most of these speaker switches are kind of faded. They're kind of gray in here like that, and they're dirty. And this one here, I think got a little hot and melted. But look at this one. I took this one and cleaned it and put that protectant on it about a month ago. Look how much nicer it's going to look when I install this. I think you can see it already looks, 80% better after cleaning it. But you'd be surprised, even though it looks really good now, if you let it sit for another week or so, it'll start to get that faded look again. So I'm going to apply my custom Miracle Protectant, and I'm going to use a brush. There's no sense in smearing this all over the place. I'll use a small brush and just work this right in there so I don't have too much to take off when I'm all done. I'll let this soak for a couple hours, and then I'll come back and wipe all the excess off. But I think you can see by using a small brush like this, you not only use less product, but your after cleanup is going to be a lot easier. This protectant does an amazing job on these wiper mechanism covers all the way from the 90s up through the 2000s. I don't know why they turn gray. You can see over here another plastic part has turned gray. Now, I've tried Back to Black. I tried 303 Protectant. I don't like using ceramic trim coat, because it makes it look too shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Miracle Protectant. I'm going to use a paintbrush here. Same thing to apply this. Now it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'll just let this sit here and soak into the plastic, and then before I head out today, I'll come back and wipe this down. And we'll get this little piece right over here as well. Okay, take a close look at this right here now. As we go along this edge, look at how nice that looks. Now, I'm going to flash back to what this looked like earlier, all the way down here. So we have a protectant here that's very resistant to collecting dust and dirt and long lasting. Maybe I'll come back in 6 months and show you what this looked like. Doesn't this look nice compared to what it looked like earlier? This is what I like to look at right here. I don't like that gray faded plastic on these old cars. And if you're still not a believer, let me show you one final thing. This piece right here on the front of the W123 chassis, it's almost impossible to get looking nice. You'll put stuff on there and then a few months later it turns gray again. The one on Old Spence here was even worse, but this was 5 months ago I applied the Miracle Protectant. Take a look at what that looks like now.